Okay, so I am recording, and I will likely share the recording. The recording is just of me though. Okay, it's going to be speaker view. So I'll pin my screen so that you know that's the case. Great. Okay, all right, here we go. So hitting play all together, I'm going to count us in. And then if anybody has any questions, concerns, or they're a little bit lost, just type in the chat or let me know from there and I'll get you caught up with everybody else. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, so just a nice percussive track to begin with. I want to invite everybody to let their computers go and head out into their space with this sound and get low to the ground, sitting, lying, and or if you're really not feeling that, really connecting with the sensation of contact between your body and ground underneath you. Good, that's it. So starting to lengthen breath. Oh, focusing on exhales. Yeah, letting device go. Closing eyes. Maya, how you doing? You got your stuff up and running, or do you need any links again?
No, all good, thank you.
Okay, fabulous. So the number one instruction, Maya, is your own body's satisfaction. So my voice, my prompts are here as support for that. But your body and its desires is your number one guide. You get to follow its guidance, its impulses firstly. So yawning out, stretching out, rolling out, getting low to the ground, letting your body rest into those surfaces. Deep breaths. Letting breath flow in and out and experiencing the sensations, the textures, the qualities of that breath. Flowing in and out. Good. Bringing your awareness into the sensation of contact between body and ground underneath you. Feeling where skin or clothing touches ground under you and really feeling, sensing that contact. Feeling the solidity of that ground, that floor underneath you. Its solidness, its reliability. Good, so we're heading into the next track here. This is Bonga. Or sorry, it's called, that's the artist is Bonga. It's called Monaki ni Chika. Good, okay, so continuing to bring your awareness to point of contact with ground underneath you, starting to press and push and roll into that surface. Deep breaths. Ooh, good. Letting yourself stretch and yawn in between. Good. And as our weight rests downward, as your weight rests downward, letting the body gently, slowly explore, luxuriously, lazily. Hi, Alessia, welcome. We've started, so we're just into the second track here. I'm going to paste the links to the playlists in the chat for you, okay? Give me a moment. I'm going to mute you. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Great. Okay, so there's both the Spotify and YouTube options. So the ideal is so that you can hear my voice on one device of some sort and then the sound on another. That's good. And let me know if you need, I'll let you know where we are in the music. And then if you need that again, just let me know. Okay, so we're into the second track, Mona Ki ni Chica. 4 minutes and 58 seconds. Or, oh, sorry, no, that's how long it is. We are 2 minutes and 40 seconds in. Good, that's it. Let's bring awareness into the spine. Letting that spine wiggle, shift, twist, curve, arch. Oh, that's it. Letting yourself be lazy and luxurious. Using that surface underneath your body, pressing surfaces in. Hey, Corrine, welcome. We are about halfway through the second track. If you're joining us with sound, we are 3 minutes and 28, 29, 30 seconds in. Oh, that's it. Nice deep breaths, letting yourself sigh and exhale and sink into the ground. Wow. Wow. So let eyes close, drop awareness into sensing. Maybe rolling along the ground or pressing different surfaces into that floor. Feeling its solidity, its reliability, and letting your body enjoy that support. Good, and start to find shapes and play with a range of motion in relationship to that support and that solid surface underneath you. Nice, wiggling through those hips, curving and arching, circling spine. Hey, Corrine. Okay, so we are just starting the third track. So we're into Love Song here by Macklemore. Nice, groovy, warm track. Oh, and I realized I never introduced Fivos here. So if you're wondering who the other human is, this is Fivos. Good, so just nice and easy, letting the body bob and sway. Good, relaxing jaw. Relaxing eyes, the spheres of the eyeballs in the socket. Relaxing the gray matter of the brain. That's it. Letting the head bob and sway, that neck start to bend, curve. Good. Let's take in a little bit more oxygen here. Nice breaths. Good. Exploring those joints, starting to explore the joints of the body, shoulders, circling open, breathing open. Good. Knees, bending and stretching. Hip sockets, waggling. That's it. Great, okay. That's it. Letting yourself really take some new shapes, let the body contract and expand. That's it. Keep wiggling into that spine. Let's warm up that low spine, low back. Ooh, that's it. Breathing into the whole back surface of your body. Letting that beat wash over you. Lazy body to start. Using that weight to connect to earth, to connect to ground. That's it. Letting the body ease itself into motion. Maybe playing with being upside down. Letting the lower body start to activate a little bit more. Feet pressing into floor. That's it. Keep dropping your awareness down into that sensation of contact with ground. Contours of feet, or shins, or legs, or torso against ground. Weight downward. Good. Let's keep circling that pelvis, opening up those hip sockets all directions. Big bowl of the pelvis, rocking, circling. Let that tailbone reach in all directions. Hip sockets compress and extend. Great, and just as we come to the end of this particular track, let's feel in for the center of the low abdomen, maybe using hands to kind of trace the contour of that big bowl basin. Good, then feeling in for the center point of the low abdomen, so about 4 or 5 fingers below the navel, halfway between front of torso and back of pelvis there, halfway between the sides of the pelvis centered, imagining a dark, dense point or a glowing orb. You can go with the color and texture that your imagination brings to you. Great, then drawing in the circumference of the waist towards that point, gently drawing up the pelvic floor. Weight rests downward as the pelvic floor, the muscles of the pelvic floor gently lift up towards that center point of the pelvis. Good, that's it, playing with that engagement. This type of visualized engagement helps to activate our deepest abdominals, our transverse abdominis, which is our most important postural stabilizing muscle. The more we activate that, the more freedom we can find in our other joints. Good. That's it. Let the rest of the body start to explore here with that belly gently engaged, or you can play with quite active engagement. Play with turning it up, drawing the circumference of that waist in towards the center point, pelvic floor, gently drawing up. Even as the diaphragm relaxes on top, the rib cage relaxes on top. Good. If anybody needs to know where we are in the music, we're in Hara is the track by Jean du Voyage. And we're about halfway through it, 1 minute 48, 9, 50, 51. Great, that's it. Connect that belly up to legs, to thighs, through knee joints, through bones of the body. So that orb center point of the low belly, energy radiating down through legs and feet into floor, into earth and way beyond. That's it, down into that living earth underneath you. That's it, keep letting the breath expand. Let the upper body release. Let the lower body start to activate. Belly engaged, feet pressing into ground, lines of energy running from that belly down through feet into ground. To feel for a sense of fluidity, a sense of continuity. Letting that belly lead. Nice. Okay, next track here. This is called The End by Monolink featuring Acid Pauli. Good. So maybe just shaking or bouncing it out a little bit. Good. Let's come back down to the feet. Connection of feet on floor. Wiggle those toes. Scrunch up those feet. Scrunch them up. Expand them. Activate those muscles. Wiggle through toes. Press different parts of the feet into floor. That's it. Feel the whole contours. Open up those ankle joints. That's it. Really expand. Press, open. Squeeze and release those feet. That's it. Imagining lines of energy running out through each of the 10 toes, connected to belly, running out through each of the 10 toes and anchoring down into the earth through the heel. That's it. What are all the different ways those feet can move that feel good for you? Feeling for your own depth of satisfaction. Hello, welcome. Great. So if you're just joining us, I'm going to post the links to the playlists in the chat. There's a YouTube version and a Spotify version. All things being equal, go for the Spotify. If you have a paid Spotify account, that's better. If not, use the YouTube. And I'll keep cueing you as to where we are in the music. We are currently on the 5th track called The End by Monolink and Acid Pauli. Good. We are 2 minutes and 30, 31, 32, 33 seconds in. Great. Okay, great. So we've kind of really connected to ground. We've connected to belly, feeling for the center point of the low abdomen and engaging that. Good. We've gradually opened up the joints of the body. Great. Awesome. Okay. Just let me know if you get lost or you need anything else along the way. That's it. Good. Okay. So let's start to expand the range of texture and of range of motion that we're experiencing here. Maybe gradually opening up upper body, shoulders, letting those shoulder blades slide along the back of the rib cage. Letting arms expand, palms open, reaching up and out into the space. I imagine that's Margot. I was like, Vitkin, I think I know that last name. And if not, welcome, whoever you are. Good, great, okay. And keep feeling for that continuity, a sense of circles, spirals, spiraling into other spirals, spiraling into other circles. Good, finding that. Bend in the knees, nice juicy knees. To keep breathing in, take in that oxygen. Bending, juicy knees, juicy elbows. Spongy, alive, luscious. Supported by the structure of your skeleton against the ground. Good, let's circle through those hips again. Really open up those hip sockets in all directions. Let that pelvis wiggle, tilt. Great, okay, hey Margot, nice to have you with us. Good, elbows and knees, shoulders. Find that rhythm. That's it, let's let that pulse. Let that pulse start to play in your system, maybe nice and light. Good, feeling for the textures and tones that your body's hungry for. Does it want to kind of wiggle and jangle? Being a little bit sort of silly in texture, shaking out hands, shaking out wrists and forearms. Or does it want kind of more simplicity? Maybe slower movement. Maybe there's a particular color. Orange, like a burnt orange for me. That's what my system really wants, a kind of orangey shade. But what does your system want? Can you draw that quality and stir that quality into your belly, into your pelvis? That's it. Enjoy the push of the foot into the floor. Let the body find shapes. Good. Enjoy that rhythm. Bouncing lightly through hips, knees, ankles. Oh, yes, nice. Good. Let the flesh of your body, the muscles of your body just kind of hang and be softer. Let the bones lead the dance here. Good. Let's feel for the long bones of the femurs, the thigh bones, and the upper arms. Letting them swing or pulse. That's it. Really let the arms be heavy. Let the shoulders actually relax. Weight of those limbs. Good. Let's feel for the length and weight of those femurs, the big thigh bones, connecting up to pelvis. Good. Maybe yawning it out, sighing it out. Keep it moving. We're building warmth in the body here. Good. As the music transitions here, let's look for figure eights. Maybe tracing figure eights with pelvic floor, pubic bone. Maybe adding an elbow. Can we do both elbows and pelvis? So that's just getting a little bit lost. Keep it moving, keep it moving. Oh, good. I was excited about this one. This is Here Comes the Rain Again, classic, remastered version by the Eurythmics, Annie Lennox and Dave Stewart. Yes. Good. So let's let the body find kind of some bigger shapes here. Let it take up space. Find your 80s drama queen or king or monarch, diva. Nice. Yes, keep growing that pleasure. Pleasure is your guide. Good. Let's breathe into the back space of the body if you haven't much already. Let the back of the rib cage, the back of the lungs open. Good. Back of the torso, back of the spine, back of the pelvis. That's it. Draw it in through your breath, through your limbs. What qualities, what textures, what energy do you desire? Draw it in. Good. Let your feet play with the rhythm. Following that synth, or just following the through line. That's it. Let muscles of the legs activate and relax. Good. Let's start to bring a little bit more effort into those legs, or a little bit more range of motion. Let those feet reach, maybe letting legs lift or kick, extending, pressing into earth, connected to belly. That's it. Start to journey through your space a little bit more. Eat up some space. Maybe starting to travel different directions. Traveling all different directions. Big steps, small steps. That's it. Eat up that space. Good. Let those arms trace and carve through the space around you. Legs too. Feel for that, your shape carving through space. That's it. Let those lungs, let that rib cage expand and contract. Take that breath in, keep it moving. That's it, expanding and contracting those fibers, tissues, cells of those lungs. Expanding that rib cage in all directions, expanding and contracting. Squeeze out that stale air. Great, good time for some water if you need. Okay, what we got here, this is Solola by Chegwe. Okay, so now is really the time to kind of stomp, rattle, shake. And if that's too much for your body, go light, flick. Good, imagine like you're flicking water droplets of all the energy you don't want, flick it off, brush it off. That's it, maybe get back down on the ground, reconnect with that ground. That's it, let yourself get a little bit messy, more than a little bit messy. Let the body rattle. Good, get out any tension, any frustration. This is the time, let it rattle through you. Keep connecting up to that belly and ground underneath you. Let that head shake out. Shoulders shake and release. Good, brush down the surface of your body. Any stale energy, we're just brushing it off. Big breath in, let it go. Trust those feet, trust the ground. Follow your body's lead. Shake it out. That's it. Don't know, discover. Let your body lead you. What does it want to do? How goofy, how ridiculous? Doesn't matter. In fact, the more ridiculous, the better. Really let yourself go to the places you wouldn't normally. Bash it around, toss it around, scribble, get messy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, awesome work. Okay, awesome. Now we're going to take that same power. We're going to slow it down and drop it down in the body, down into that pelvic floor, legs. Good, really open up those hip sockets, let those butt cheeks move in all directions, that tailbone, reach and circle, arching, curving, letting that spine ripple. That's it, draw that power in, breathe it in, feel it centered, feel your awareness land within your own belly, within your own pelvis, within your own central channel, within your own spine. That's it. Your power center right here where you are all the time. Good, then enjoy moving that form of yours into space. That's it. Take space. That's it, thighs, forearms, shins. That's it, let it go. Let that pelvis lead. Tear it up, carve it up, claim your own center. Good, and if you're finding the textures a lot, just go with the through line. Go with the light qualities over, under, or around. Ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Good, enjoy that press of feet into ground. Stomping, stepping, kicking. That's it, last little bit here, get down into that belly. Letting thoughts go, keep following the body's desire. Follow that through line of your own pleasure. Shake it up, brush it off. Good, feel for not just the space that you're in, but the living earth underneath you, big infinite sky above. Good, that's it, keep breathing here. Next track. This is called If We Ever, the Unglued remix by High Contrast and Unglued. Oh, so keep following your breath. That's it, keep letting your body lead. And it can be big, it can be small, stay with it. Even if you're sitting still, keep breathing into your form. Let the intensity grow in terms of the keenness of your awareness. And if that looks big and crazy and wild, great. And if not, great too. Remember, the ground is always here for you. Keep feeling for your own center. Hook it up to the walls, the corners of the room, the other people in space, the shapes in space with you. Let them be a part of your awareness. Not obstacles, but the exact space you're in. That's it, let that brain go, let the neck relax, jaw relax. Let the eyes relax in their sockets, rattle that head around a little bit. Keep dropping your awareness, your attention, your intelligence down into belly. Yeah, shake it up. Ooh, breathe it through. That's it, following your body's desires. As Margie says, listen and fulfill. What's the desire present? Fulfill. Fulfill your body's desire here. That's it. Find the stillness within and around the commotion. That's it. The infinite dance of unfolding, the sensation, emotions, thoughts. Let this incredibly intelligent organism that is the human form lead you. That's it. Keep it moving, keep it breathing, stay with it. Even as fatigue seeps in, come back to the breath. Let that breath and oxygen nourish your system. Find the simpler or more slow through line. Stay with it. Keep your awareness connected to your body. Good. Beautiful, you guys. One last sort of more intense track here, but it's got a more lyrical quality to it. So let yourself recenter, let yourself connect to ground. That's it. Find the connection to earth, to your own belly, your own heart. Oh. Letting the power and the movement flow through you, letting it be effortless. That's it. What does your heart have to say here? Heart connected to belly. Ha, ha, ha. What matters to you? What matters to you? Let your heart express that through the shape of your body, in form, in space, in time. That's it. Take a stand, whatever texture that stand is. It can be soft, it can be strong, or anywhere in between. That's it. Enjoy your body, taking space. Let that breath flow. Gather your desires. That's it. Let it move you. Get into that pelvis. Get into those hip sockets. Press down into the ground. That's it. Oh. Feeling the softness, the translucent light flowing through you alongside the firmness of your bones, the stability of your bones, that stability of your center. Good, that's it. Use this as your prayer inwards and outwards. Beautiful, letting that dissolve and soften into this next track. 1.1 prelude, Peter Gregson and Richard Harwood, Raynud Ford and Tim Lowe. Softening, softening. Inside rib cage and heart and lungs. Down bones of legs. Through feet into floor. Exhaling. Inhaling. Rivers of sound, of light, of color, ribbons flowing through your form. Effortless, letting it dance you, letting yourself be danced. Good. Finishing up with the incomparable Lorena McKenna with Dante's prayer. That's it, letting yourself dance and move with the sounds, or come to stillness and find the dance within your form. Let's bring back that awareness of the living earth underneath you, alive, constantly nourishing, constantly there, present for you. Let your form breathe and relax into her support. Maybe you have mountains near you, or a river near you, or forests near you, feeling that aliveness of the landscape surrounding and embracing you. feeling for the infinite sky up above. That's being present to what is present within you, within your heart, belly, lungs, organs, nurtured by earth underneath, infinite sky and space above. That's it, softening into the spaces in between. Letting those muscles and tissues, any holding in the body, soften, soften. That's it, that space of the heart, softening. Keep relaxing that brain, that skull, that head. Keep dropping into belly, into heart. That's it, feeling the nobleness of your own form, however broken or stuck or stiff or maybe kind of uncoordinated we might feel. Noble, noble form. Wondrous form. So keep coming back into the torso, into the heart, into the lungs, softening those tissues. Letting your limbs trace in space, finding that belly awake. Don't know, discover into the next moment. And the next moment, totally unknown. What is here? Noble form, noble unfolding, wondrous. That's it. Letting your form find a shape of honoring, a shape of prayer. Surrendering into the miracle of the present moment. Letting this last track, the infinite here by Asterius, letting this last track wash over you and through you. Letting the mind expand to connect to the silence, space around, the vibrations. And the vibration of the sound. Open your system even more. Releasing toxins, stale, stuck emotion, sorrow, grief, rage, despair, frustration, impotence, all of that melting down into the earth. With the vibration of the sound, fresh, bright, vivid awareness. Opening in every cell of your form, connected to living earth, connected to infinite sky. Beautiful. Okay. So we're going to take a little pause here. Please feel free to continue to rest into silence or stillness, to perhaps shift into meditation for a little bit or let your body stretch. For those of you who want to join for the discussion portion, talking about the foundations of self-love, you can either stay in the room or leave and come back. We'll begin. I'll open the room at 1:45 in case we have new people joining us. But I think I'll give everybody at least 10 minutes here, so till 47. So, and if you are leaving us, if you're choosing to go off with the rest of your day, a deep bow and thanks to you. And please find your own way of offering that energetically up to each of us here today. And we'll see you around. Or if you're staying with us, just stay in the room or leave and come back, same link. And we'll see you at 1:45 or 47. Okay, see you soon.
Again. Okay, so I'd love to start the second portion of today, where we kind of deep dive more into this notion of self-love. Self-love is the foundation for everything that we do in our lives. But before we kind of dive into the subject matter, I'd love for each person to say hello. You can do it on or off camera. Give us your name, where you are in the world, and okay, great, Margot. Well, so glad you could be with us. Okay. Oh, Margot, did she go already? She did. Okay.
I can pass the message along if you want.
I wanted to let her know about the Lover Lane event and Savor this week coming up. So I'll share more with everybody about that. But it's basically a free 2-part masterclass tomorrow, also led by myself and Kavita Singh and Lainey Smith, and at 1 and 4 p.m. Eastern. And I'll put the registration link in the chat here, and that's free of charge. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think, or Tuesday and Wednesday, there's going to be a challenge run online called Savor. It's $50 to join. And it's all of savor in the sense of savoring one's life and really the art of that. And so it's an expansion out of this idea of self-love and how we put that into practice a little bit more. So links are there for anybody who wants to join us. Yeah, okay, so I'd love to hear from each person, your name, where in the world you are. If you danced with us, what did you notice during that time? What came up for you? What was meaningful? And where you feel your current, what self-love means to you already, and where you feel your growth edge with that is. So I'll start. My name is Ruth. I'm in Montreal, originally from the prairies, Winnipeg. I had a really beautiful dance. There are moments where when I'm leading, it's harder for me to maybe surrender into it. So playing with that today, kind of really letting go even in sort of leading a space. And my understanding of self-love has changed a lot in the last year. And now I really understand it as the kind of the foundational energy force of the universe, including the universe of you and me. And my growth edge with it right now is continuing to honor the authority of what presents within me, which doesn't mean rejecting input from others, but does mean holding the ground of my word without without kind of games of less than or more than. And I'll leave that there. Who would like to go next? You can either unmute or raise a hand or, yeah.
I'll go next.
Okay, thanks, Miriam.
Hi, everyone. I'm Yoni. Miriam. I'm from Morocco. I live in Toronto. And yeah, the dancing was fun. I haven't sweated. I haven't been sweating in a really long time, especially dancing. So it took a little bit of adjusting to that. But it was great. Yeah. And yeah, and also what was coming up a little bit for me was being led through a dance thing, which I haven't been in a long time. And going back to some of the patterns of being led through a dance class, what to follow, what not to follow, those kind of things, playing with that anyway. So that was something that came up for me and that I noticed. Self-love, yeah. So yeah, what does it mean for me, self-love? I think a little bit like what I was saying about the dance class, in the sense of listening to what it is that and want and I don't want, or what makes sense or what doesn't make sense, and really trusting that inner guidance for me is self-love. Which is not a rejection of the other or a rejection of conflict or a rejection of difference. I think it's kind of the opposite. I see it. Yeah. And my growth edge with it is, yeah. I think it's being more vulnerable in a way, especially in the face of conflict. Yeah, to not always go up into that, I'm guarding myself, which I see as, with the opposite of self-love. Keeping the space open for dialogue. Anyway, stopping there. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks, Miriam. Janet, welcome back. We're just going around sharing our names, where we are on the planet, how the dance was for you, if you danced with us, and then your current understanding of self-love and where you feel your growth edge is with it.
So, and I'll give you an example for that.
Perfect. Let's do this.
I'm Fevos. I'm in Montreal. I did dance today, and during the dance I felt really amazing by trusting only what I was feeling. My eyes were mostly closed. It felt very satisfying, and there were definitely thoughts coming, as in, oh, people may be watching you. What do you have to say about that? Oh, you may be doing that very wrong. Oh, look at your feet. They may be looking ugly. And none of that really took much ownership of my decision, which I was really glad for, and quickly it went away because the bliss of listening to what I was feeling and what I was experiencing was way higher. What do I believe about self-love and where is my growth edge? I see self-love as growing up to be able to take care of your own child in a way, and be able to love it no matter what. and my growth edge is close to my perspective, which is taking that child and putting it through the experience that it's good for it, but it doesn't know it yet, so that it can experience it, and making sure that I do that in a nice way, so that that would be inspiring for the future. So that's what's coming for me.
Nice.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else?
No,
I
that's
need
it.
to-
Thanks a lot, Phyllis. Shayla, do you want to go next? Kind of rotate around the screen.
So I'm Shayla. I'm in Calgary, and I did not do the dance, unfortunately. But well, I'm only 16, so self-love has only become something I'm looking at sort of this year. And for me, it's, I guess, trying to make sure that how much I love myself comes from me and not the opinions of others. Because the environment of my school is pretty competitive, and so I care a lot about other people's opinions. So for me, it's sort of growing to love myself no matter what, and to recognize that there are flaws, but you can still, like, you love other people even though they're not perfect. So remember that with yourself too. And so for me, that growth is trying to, my growth edge is trying to love myself even when opinions of others are everywhere.
Beautifully put. Thank you, Shayla. Very courageous. Janet, would you go next?
Yeah, I'm Janet. I live in Tennessee, and Chattanooga, Tennessee, for those that know the old Chattanooga choo-choo. The dance was lovely. I had been out kayaking this morning and was very aware my energy was in lower mental. Here I am out in the middle of this beautiful river, and I could still feel a lot of lower mental energy just vibrating. And I kept thinking, there's got to be a way to bump it out of that, bump it into a more optimal experience. And so anyway, the dance did it. It was just fabulous. And thank you for guiding us through in such a lovely way. I was thinking, oh, I need to remember to do this myself. So but really did enjoy it. I don't know that I have words for self-love. I think my indicators of it these days is how much vibrancy am I feeling? How much life force do I feel connected to? How much richness, am I experiencing? To me, are indicators of self-love. I don't know that I could describe self-love. And I think my edge is how much am I staying in presence? I think presence is really my, where I know I'm most connected in a loving way to self, or really to the world, honoring life itself. And I'm also aware that while I'm working on my presence practice, it's a journey.
Beautiful. Thank you, Janet. Maya, would you go next?
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm not camera ready. I'm in New York City. And it was such a beautiful experience to move my body, because I did wake up today with the desire to be more connected. And speaking of the subject of self-love, I had a huge epiphany yesterday, because I've been feeling very uneasy and very pressured by many choices that I'm making or I get to make in the future, and I couldn't see why, why. And yesterday it became very clear that I need to have better boundaries when it comes to my space and my needs. And right, this is a self-love when you prioritizing those needs and you managing your attention, right? You putting yourself first. And I just realized that lately I've done pretty lousy work of doing that because I've been doing and attending to other people's needs more than to mine, which brought this huge alarm system in my body of like how you can build more expensive future where you don't have time to invest in yourself. And that was the realization that I need to I need to pay more attention to my time and my space. And like today doing this practices, this is it. It's not that hard. It's about I guess self-discipline and reminding yourself that if you don't have energy, if you're not nurtured, no willpower will help you to get the results. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. Beautiful. Okay, Veronica.
Hi guys. So this practice that Ruth does every Sunday really anchors me in my week. And the dance, it's also interesting to see how my dances feels different every week. I was really determined to be in, like, feel myself, but I haven't been doing that, but I still enjoy the dance, and I was still able to just move for the entire time, which is not something that always is possible for me. Um, Self-love is a topic of my year, I guess. I realized at some point that any therapy or any self-help book or any practice is all at the end about loving yourself and putting yourself first. It's very hard for me because I back in the day I didn't even feel I existed, and then I felt that I existed, and I defined myself by my accomplishments, and then it's not possible anymore. So I need to like really do the work and um, develop, nourish the feeling. And I do tell myself every day a few times, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. Sometimes I'm in the nature and I will say, please, do you know that I love myself? And they agree. Um, and it's like it's sometimes doesn't feel true, but more often now it does feel true. So my goal is to grow that belief when I say that okay, yeah, it's like I'm I'm blonde. Yep, I love myself. Yep. Um, and today I was also trying to feel like I have an option that came out that I have to make a decision for Monday, and I was really wanted to like feel it through today. I haven't yet, but just something that's on top of my mind, so I'm bringing that up. Yeah, thank you.
Um, okay, Alessia, did you see in the chat? We'll come back, and if you saw in the chat, or if you need verbal guidance on what to share, let me know.
Hi, actually, I can't anymore. My daughter just woke up. I can roughly say that it was fun because I could join maybe 15 minutes in total. And I did it with my daughter. She is 15 months old, and she enjoyed it so much. Seeing me move, listening to the music, it was really fun.
Beautiful.
Okay, now I can't talk to you anymore. I'm sorry.
That's
I
fine.
try to.
If you want to keep listening, you're welcome to, Alessia, and glad you enjoyed. Okay, beautiful. So thank you, each of you, for bringing yourselves and your honest inquiry into what you are and this notion of life and love. Um, I never have a plan, so I don't have a plan for today. I do want to highlight a few things that came up, and then we can see where the discussion takes us. I do want to invite anybody at any point to contribute anything, especially in the chat, because then it allows, you don't have to, but it does allow for kind of a multifaceted conversation. So if you aren't contributing verbally or somebody else is contributing verbally, you can still contribute, or kind of highlight a point that landed for you can help you integrate the learning. So the piece that I feel is foundational to start with in terms of self-love is to remind each of us, or open each of us into a greater understanding of what we actually are. Because so many of us run into problems because of the way we have been conditioned, educated, brought up in our world, in our culture, um, uh, and been told what is valuable and what is not valuable, with a very narrow range on the understanding of what is valuable, right? Each culture, each society has a range, but it's a fairly narrow one. And both Veronica and Shayla, you highlighted the fact that in our culture, one of the ways that we define value is via achievement, external achievement. And so if we find ourselves in a position where who we are, or what we are, or our experience is not matching up to the quite narrow range of what's valuable according to a particular culture, it's very hard for us to appreciate that experience. When we can understand that as a human being, we are a great deal more than our achievements, and we can understand that by the mere happening of your existence is the wonder of life unfolding, which is also why I love dance so much. It supports us into that very experience, the experience of the wonder of each moment. When we can start to shift our sense of our identity to be more aligned with that, with simply the wonder of happening, this idea of what is valuable and isn't can start to be disrupted. And we can instead start to value simply that, the wonder of what's occurring, which is always present and always true, no matter what is happening in our reality. So I'll pause there, and I'd love to hear if anything is coming up for anybody here. Again, you can put it in the chat, you can speak, you can add, you can question, you can go off on a tangent. There's no right or wrong here. Hi. Do you want to introduce her to the group, Mary?
Okay, sure. Hi, this is Nadia, my daughter. And she wanted to say hi.
Hi.
But hi.
Hi, Nadia.
I'll have to make her some food, so unfortunately I have to let you guys. I'll go, and thank you again for the experience, and nice to meet you, everyone.
Thank you, Mary. Yeah, look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye, Nadia.
Bye.
Okay, lovely. Yeah, anybody else want to contribute anything here? Otherwise, I can also move on. So, you know what, let me pose it in a question. what aspects, this comes back to where your growth edge lies. So what aspects of your experience are you currently having difficulty valuing? Another way of saying that is, where in your reality right now are there moments of feeling like something is wrong? Now, I'm not saying that when we have that feeling, nothing is wrong, but I'm saying that there's value in that experience. And as humans, we have this way of, when things feel off, of going into a place of kind of self-rejection, what I would call the opposite of self-love, of wanting things to be different than they are, can be on a very subtle level sometimes, which then cuts us off from a space of self-love and cuts us off from a space of learning. So where in your reality right now are you finding yourself cut off from that space of learning? Again, another way of phrasing it is, where are you currently feeling dissatisfied? Where does that come up? And yeah, please either share in the chat or share verbally. Maya, were you wanting to? Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that surprisingly to me, it's that I put a lot of, it's not even I feel like I just been pressured by a lot of action because I am running my business and I'm helping two other very alpha people to run their business. And I felt like there was a lot of action where I did not have energy for anyone, including myself. And it's just this measuring every single day, right? Like not just doing the action, checking in with yourself. Is it time for action? Or there's anything else that needs to happen? And as a person who works in this field, I do know that our energy and how we feel actually affects much more than action, no matter how brilliant action is. And to me personally, is that sometimes my personal care and love for other people and desire to connect with them might push me into sacrificing myself. And it's just something that I do. I'm not saying that everybody's doing it. I'm not saying that we might be conditioned to do that, but not every woman does that, right? That's just something that I need to monitor. And the way to flip it, I found for myself, is deep understanding that, well, if I give myself first, then I actually will have more energy to contribute to them, instead of me lying to them and to myself that I'm fine when I'm not fine, and not delivering or producing the results that I want regardless. So it's kind of like, it's putting yourself in the center every single time, every single moment, every single day, not from an ego place, right? But from just from a loving place. Yeah. You muted.
At one point, I'll remember. Beautiful, Maya. Yeah, thank you. Very poignant, very relevant for, I imagine, all of us here. I do want to say, please join us tomorrow for the Lover Lane things. So the registration link is there. You will get a lot out of it. And if you haven't met Lainey or Kavita yet, you will, you'll be moved. So yeah, many good points there, Maya, and your naming of, yes, the recognition that actually when that nourishment is directed here first, everybody wins, period. And yet there's certainly in my life, there's been a very big gap between that understanding and then my application of that moment to moment. And one of the pieces that's been required is that I've had to become more and grow my awareness around what is the feed I'm getting from the serving outward. because to my system up until quite recently, that feed was, there was a lack, a hurt, a deficiency within me that I had not yet healed, that feed was addressing. And so it's an addiction of sorts. That type of way of showing up in the world, Ruth was very addicted to. And it's been a very deliberate, applied process to more and more and more see the layers, yes, unfold in order to see the layers, and then instead direct that love and care and awareness inward into, exactly as you were saying, Maya, what does this being, this organism need right now? Deepening that awareness, not only need, but desire. What would be wildly satisfying for this being, this organism right now? And, I think there's a lot of, I lost it. Okay, I'll pause there. Trust it will come back if it's needed. What's coming up for people here? Yeah, Janet.
So I hear what you're saying, and then there's also society and group dynamics, and say you've committed to a project, not realizing that it was going to go on and on and on and drain you, but you've committed. And then how does one gracefully bow out without causing a whole nother ruckus? Because people don't like hearing, well, I just can't do this anymore, or I need to take care of myself. And that, so how does one, you can recognize the need, but then it's also the dynamic of how to do that with grace and love.
Fantastic question. I think this also comes back to what Fivos was saying about caring for his child and or the child within as we so I'll connect a few dots here. So first off, I want to say there's nearly always room for more both and than we think. So yes, sometimes bowing out is the exact perfect action. And the more we can articulate that need, desire for ourselves from a place where we are clear and committed to that within ourselves, no matter what the reaction of others, we do need to be prepared for a ruckus. It may very well cause a ruckus. It's quite counterculture right now to really prioritize self-care. There's a lot of overextending. There's a lot of overaction, still very alive. And when you are choosing to not do that, that is disruptive to other people's patterns. So on a certain level, we need to simply be aware that that may happen. And we need to be okay and still choose to value ourselves, even if that does occur. Now, sometimes that takes some mining and processing on our own in order to come to terms with, right? And so we can do that even by, I am consistently asking my clients, okay, what's the worst case scenario here? When we can be present to that emotionally, everybody in the group rejects me, calls me a total self-centered bitch, and abandons me for the rest of my life, right? Whatever, our minds go there, right? So when I can hold that reality within my imagination, let my physiology, my heart have that experience, I can process that, and then I can engage from a place of what me and Lainey Kavita often talk about is no stakes. There aren't actually ever any stakes. The only thing truly at stake is how deeply am I committed and caring to this being. So another thing here is that we are not taught that our desires and our impulses matter, not just to you, but to the evolutionary unfoldment of the species. They aren't random. They aren't uh, selfish. They aren't some like bizarre thing that like the human being has the impulse of desire for a reason, and that's because it is your seed, your thread into greater versions of yourself, which is the greatest service to humanity you can do. So that's important for us to hold. And then what we are honoring, we move that needle more and more to honoring that over honoring fitting in. We're really doing everybody a service. And when we can ground ourselves in that, exactly as you were saying earlier, Maya, that like knowing that me serving me is of the highest good, not only is that of benefit to others, even if the thing collapses and there's a lot of conflict, it also makes it much more likely for us to be able to communicate from an energy that has a tone. You may hear us talk about this on Monday. If you join us, we talk about it as the lover. It comes from the lover. It comes from a place of self-honoring. So it has a tone that is naturally kind of smooth and magnetizing to others. So that's, I said a lot there. I'll pause. What's coming up for others? What's coming up for you here? Where is that relevant? What are you noticing in your reality? Yeah,
something that landed for me was earlier on actually, is that the only time you experience rejection is when you're abandoning yourself. And that's a safety mechanism from your higher self, that every time you abandon your desires, you get to feel that you don't belong, because literally that's what you're doing. You're choosing to belong to your identity and what you know more to what you really actually are.
Beautifully said.
Yeah. Not that I am not living any form of punishment. It's not punishment, it's just course correction. Like the reason why you're feeling the rejection is so that you can actually understand that that's not where you belong, so that you can come back to where you actually belong.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, Maya.
And I just wanted to encourage others, because it's scary when you don't know, that when you start choosing yourself and literally showing people where your boundaries, sometimes you might not even say it. You might just choose yourself, right? And take care of yourself instead of attending to somebody else. And the person might sense it and they might reflect it. And that's exactly like I've been experiencing it a lot, but it just literally happened to me yesterday, where I felt pressure of doing things for other people, and I felt the self-abandonment of like, but I can't. Like I reached the point where I can't right now. And I gave myself a permission not to worry about it, not to stress, and just right, like the acceptance, the allowance, the compassion, and understanding that my body reacts the right way. It's too much, and this is what my body is sending me. Like there's nothing, like there's no negotiation here. And if if somebody cannot understand it, then okay. And literally in an hour, the person sent me completely different message with completely different energy. But it's been happening a lot in my life. So I see those as just the signs of like, oh, okay, that's what I should do. That's where I should go. So you'll be surprised, right? When we ask and when we say, or when we simply allow ourselves, that the world will reflect it back.
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for giving that clear example. Okay. Yeah, Veronica.
Yeah, so something that Lewis and Meyer have been saying. So I am at the point I need to make a decision, as I mentioned. It's about whether I have an option of teaching one class at the college. And, my smiling because we talked about it already with her. Um, like, because, and I'm trying to come from the self-love point, but it's very hard because there's so many other perspectives. Do I want to do it because other people tell me I'm ready? Do I want to do it because it's a, it's a something status thing. You know, I'm teaching again. I'm going back to life again. Or is it, do I want to do this because I want to keep giving without, so why? It's very confusing. So making this decision from the I love myself, but that's why I want to do it, even it might not work out. Some, like Ruth said, everything might crash and burn, and people will hate me, and I will have to quit. But am I okay with that? Like, so yeah, so many sides to anything, and like it's hard to keep your attention on what's important to you and what do you want, and are you, it's like, because if I'm teaching, I'm gonna be giving to 35 people. Like, can I hold my boundaries? Can I hold my space? Can I still come from it from the loving perspective? Can I, you know, maintain my sleep and my schedule without going crazy? Like, yeah, I just wanted to say that. So thank you for bringing all those up as well.
So beautiful, Veronica. Great. And that highlights another great point. I'm aware of time here too, but which is, so the way, and can I is an excellent question. Now, the way that we can is by getting clear within ourselves about what we do desire and what quality of experience we do desire. So you named a whole bunch of things. Okay, I'm saying yes to this, for example, and I am going to sleep. I am going to uh, stay present to my energy so that I don't overgive. I'm going to be, you know, and of course we may have to learn and fall in and out of those positions, but in my opinion, we do not often enough take time to get very clear on what it is that we do desire. That is such a powerful orienting uh, quotient. When we can bring that in, when we can really name and state and stake a claim for what we desire, then we can navigate the course quite well. The other thing I wanted to say here is that this is where, yeah, we can have a lot of kind of opposing voices. And in the end, in my opinion, the only way to make a decision is based off of what your system as a whole feels. I would always direct an individual to choose based off of their feeling in relationship to a situation over their thinking. Where we need to be cautious here is when fear comes up, because fear is not a reason to not do it. Fear is very often a reason to actually go that direction, but you need to get clear first on what you desire so that your boundaries can be clear. Clear on what you desire in terms of the experience, articulating that, and coming to a place of strong determination within yourself that you are giving that to yourself no matter what. Okay, beautiful. So we're at the 45-minute mark here. I did want to do one more exercise here. It's about 5 minutes long. So if you need to go, I totally understand. That's fine. And for those who are staying, I want to invite people to, I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock, and I want to invite people, if you're at a computer, to type in the chat, or you can write in a notebook, whatever you want to do. But I'd love for you to take 5 minutes nonstop, consistently answering the following question. So, and this comes back to kind of, I think a lot of us don't even know, myself included, it's been a continual process of deepening. What does it even mean to choose myself, right? It's like, what does that even mean? Does it mean to do what other people tell me to? What does it mean in any given moment? And one of the questions I love to get more clear on this on any day, constantly changing, is to complete the following sentence. So I'll say it and then I'll put it in the chat here. I demonstrate 100% commitment to myself by, and so we'll take 5 minutes here till 2:36 or so, and just complete that sentence with whatever comes. Okay, so there's no right, no wrong. It can be something that even you know isn't true. It can be the same thing again and again. Just go with whatever comes first, stream of consciousness style. truly, there is no wrong answer. It can be backwards. It can be totally wacky or off the charts. It can be like violent. Nothing is, there's nothing not allowed here. Just mining that question. I demonstrate 100% commitment to myself by, I'm going to put time on the clock here. And in the meantime, you can begin either popping that in the chat, or if you're a verbal person, just mute yourself and maybe you want to voice record as you just speak it to yourself here. Go for, here we go. We'll have a bell here in 5 minutes. And if you've got to go, that's okay too. That's the starting bell. So I'm going to demo some in the chat here. And it can be helpful to every so often reiterate the sentence. So say the whole sentence through again. I demonstrate 100% commitment to myself by, let yourself complete the sentence. So actually, as much as you can, repeat that sentence as you write, as you speak. That's going to be supportive. So I was muted there, but that's the 5-minute mark. Okay, beautiful. So I'd love if everybody wants to either pop in the chat or raise your hand if you'd like to say it, or give us a wave, and just share what came out there that was felt most valuable to you, and just make a claim for that here in front of others. Again, either verbally or in the chat. What came out that was most powerful and potent for you in terms of how you are going to demonstrate this commitment to yourself. Beautiful, Veronica. Yes. Beautiful. Right. I like also the not making yourself wrong if you do make the choice that kind of your mind knows is, or your mind thinks is wrong. Exactly. We can't learn from it if we're, yeah. So beautiful. Yeah. Janet, Maya, Shayla, Fivos, anything you want to just land as your most potent piece of that?
For me, it was one new piece. Well, it wasn't new for my environment or anybody who knows me, but it was new for me. And my main pieces were 100%. I'm showing my 100% commitment to myself by taking care of my being. I do that. So I saw 100% committed to myself by taking care of my food, physical activity, and listening to my desires. And the third most potent was similar to what Veronica said, is being very honest about how to myself, about how much time and space and attention I actually put towards my desires, even though I am writing them down. So I would like to continue and reinforce the practice of honoring my desires. I would also like to create, okay, reinforce way more the actual time and space that I create for my desires. Because it can be all words if I never actually do the space and time creation for my desires.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Fivos. Okay, Maya. Doing my self-care practices every day. Yeah, exercising, journaling in the morning, things I will focus on to contribute to my well-being and growth. Gorgeous. Yeah, anything you want to say about that, Maya?
No, I think I already said everything. It's just really hit me very, very hard yesterday. And it feels like it's answer to everything that's been bothering me. And I just really want to say this, Ruth. I'm a coach myself, and I don't know if you experienced this. There's so much noise in the coaching industry. And a lot of my attention was also pulled to that. And I got a message of like, just like stop chasing all that so-called success and just be honest. And it's just nice to be in your energy because I could just feel 100% authenticity. You have a right priorities while you're doing this. And it's just so nice to be in such integrity. So thank you.
Thank you. That means a huge amount to me. Yeah. Thanks, Maya. Beautiful. All right, Shayla, beautiful here. Doing things I love even when I feel too busy with commitments, connecting with others, spending time reading outside, saying no to things, even when it may disappoint people. Yes, that's probably a really big one. Self-care, exercise, singing. Great. Yeah, beautiful. Janet.
Well, I just, I had a little bit of a thought or reaction in doing this because, I've heard several people say listening to guidance and acting on that, but I think it takes some maturity to understand guidance versus reactivity. I mean, we are so reactive to other people's energy. And for me, it takes a little bit of sometimes deeper look or deeper understanding to realize that my choice needs to be based on what I need, not that I'm reacting to the energy, necessarily. I mean, I may choose to react to that, but it just seems like today we've got so many people reacting, and it gets pretty noisy.
Yeah, thank you. It's this is where, so in my work, I work with the system of archetypes, and this is where the kind of the child can sort of feel justified in throwing a tantrum and kind of calling it guidance, and indeed where our discernment gets to increase in order to start to develop an awareness of when is it that, and what needs to be done in those moments. How do I take care of that child within me who's throwing a tantrum of control right now, or trying to control this or whatever, versus authentic guidance. I do think our fear is actually a really great compass, because when we can, if there's fear alive in our system, we know that there's, is that true? I'm going to say this, it might not be totally true, that there's some protectiveness. I think at the same time, if we've clearly identified fear, we can not. But if it's a fear running unconsciously, then we're going to be.
But you're describing probably 75% of the population, because anxiety is often just energy around perceived threats that aren't real.
Yeah.
But there is some mechanism going on in the body, and most people have a fair amount of anxiety. So
yeah, you're absolutely right. And in my opinion, people have that, and I'm not saying it's easy, but people have that anxiety because there are unmet aspects within themselves, and there are unmet, in particular, feeling tones that are intense and unpleasant. And we haven't been taught how to process and be present to digest those feeling tones. So then we get busy and we get active, and we kind of, most humans don't really know how to feel all that well. And anxiety is kind of the best option in those situations. So yeah, I think you're very right. I do think this is, there's a lot of preaching of self-care and self-love out there, and what it actually means to practice it is exceedingly profound and very rare. So I do think also that you're onto something, in that I don't think that's what most people are doing. Yeah, anything you'd add or say?
well, my experience is also, though, that sometimes it's just recognizing that it's a perception.
Yeah.
And one's not really being threatened. And because often you'll never, we can search 1,000 years and not necessarily be able to ascertain the nugget of whatever that experience was that planted that. And so I often think just being able to see it and acknowledge it, and then realize it's a perception, and one can shift their own reality around that perception, is another way. At least that's been a way that's been helpful for me.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I usually, when I'm speaking with clients, I usually say both. There are times to simply distract and shift your attention. That Buddhists talk about kind of killing the unwholesome through attrition. You just choose. Actually, yeah, this came up earlier. It's like what our attention goes on, we are nourishing. So every moment we choose to place our attention on that which is more pleasant, for us is a positive thing. And at the same time, we do need to build our capacity in order to process and digest the unpleasant so that we don't have to kind of be living in a limited range. I do think I do think humans have way more capacity to meet and find that nugget much more quickly than we yet understand, certainly as a more mainstream practice. But yeah, I would agree that the placing of the attention on something, simply acknowledging and choosing differently, very potent. Yeah.
A lovely exercise. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Janet. Okay, beautiful. All right. Thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us so fully today. I'm going to put these links one more. Again, if you've gotten, Alessia, do you want to share something here?
Um, okay, I am sorry. I'm not on mute. Well, I don't know. Some of the people from now I'm embracing the single motherhood or single parenting while full-time working. It's, I don't know, for me it's so difficult. Like, I'm probably the one of those mom who said like my life's over because of so many things that Veronica mentioned previously, then yeah, about, about learn to love yourself, about learning to not sacrifice yourself to for others, and so on and so on. So I'm feeling all the time just overwhelmed. At the same time as I am pursuing on my pace this journey to find this love for myself, I'm feeling that the world in which I'm working, well, I mean, it's 99% of the global society, but I don't really belong there anymore. But I have conflict because I need to. Everybody needs money, right, to live. So it's I have so much going on, but I'm just wanna share that while I was doing this exercise, the first thing that came to my mind that I was taking time to my coffee in the morning. It's funny. It's there is not a lot of things, but drink coffee. Then I found that I try to find time, at least even if really late at night, to have my dinner, and sometimes to take my shower, even if my girl is yelling and she's unhappy. She wants me to come out from the bathroom, but I still do it. So it's three things I do for myself right now. It's not a lot. It's
But that's perfect. The simple things are the potent things. So you really landed on beautiful pieces there. They're not to be underestimated, these simple things. So
yeah. And what I did today, actually, because obviously I tried to plan around my things around my goal schedule. And when Veronica reminded me about the session, I said like, oh, I can't. She's not sleeping, so how I'm gonna? So I tried first to go outside with her to make her sleep. She sleeps, so we get back home. And myself, hey, I'm just gonna join with her, whatever she's gonna do. I know the time to sleep is already over for her, but
yeah.
I'm just gonna do it for myself. So I'm gonna join. Time I did, and it was awesome because she saw me moving, and she enjoyed it, and she started moving as well. So it was kind of really cool. And I even had thoughts in my head
So
that I really need to find
Alessia,
space.
I'm,
Sorry.
I'm going to pause you here just because we're getting to the time. Okay, thank you. I'm thrilled you found this, and please, you can shoot me an email or something, or drop me a message if you want to share more. Okay,
Sure.
thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank
And I want to remind and invite everybody here today to come to these things. They're going to be deeper and more potent than you think. So do join us again tomorrow, 1 and 4 p.m. You do need to register. We don't know if there's going to be a Zoom link or it'll be live streamed. Either way, you will get a video or an email letting you know. Will be recorded as well. And then Savor again is a 2-day challenge to really implement these practices in your own life even more profoundly. So I think, yeah, certainly to me, in my experience, there's no end to that mining, and then no end to the fruit that grows out of that. Okay, so thank you all very much.
How long does the session last tomorrow?
I think an hour, both ones.
Okay.
Don't totally know, but probably an hour. If you need to leave before or come for part, that's okay too. Just come in and out
Okay.
as you can.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you all. Take great care. If you have anything further to say, feel free to either email me or reach out to me on Facebook. Okay,
you.
bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.